Hey there, crew. How's everybody doing today? Can you hear me? Awesome, awesome. We got a ton of you in here, so this is going to be an awesome webinar here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. How many of you in here were able to come to the live video feed webinar yesterday? A lot of you. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names in here. Very cool. What did you think of that one? Do you like the live video feed where you can see the whole production process and be able to follow along? Very cool. And we're going to start doing a lot more of those. So we're going to start doing a lot more things like that, and then also some stuff here. But as many of you know now, real quickly, how many of you here is this your first TRW webinar? Anybody here a newbie, first one? I see a lot of familiar names, but I see a few new ones here. Welcome, Glinda. But I see most of you here. Yesterday was your first, Joe. Well, thank you for coming. Hopefully you learned some things and some things that were able to help you out. Welcome, Sabrina. So we'll probably have a little over 200, 250 of you in here today. So I'm going to be answering questions throughout the entire process, but if you do have questions, just use the chat. Go ahead and type in questions that you have. And the main purpose of these type of webinars is, like, for example, what we're going over today is, hey, Noah, how are you? What we're going over today is I'm gonna show you how to do and how to create the split design. So we have a lot of the split designs and they're very, very popular. So a lot of the cool thing about the split designs, and I'll click on it here and you should be able to see my screen. So these are split mascot designs that we just released the other day. Okay, so we have a lot of new different types of mascots, and you can see all the mascots over here on the side. This is the new Magic Cut mascot pack that we recently released. So a lot of people ask the question, what's the difference between the Magic Cut mascots and the regular mascots? So we gave a couple examples. So some of the mascots are the same layout, but what we did is we redrew them and simplified them. So like you can see a big difference between this Bulldog mascot right here in our regular pack and the Magic Cut version. So same thing with the Ram design here. You can see a lot less detail, which still gives that great looking Ram mascot look, but allows us to cut it with a vinyl cutter. I mean, this one right here, we could cut these with a vinyl cutter, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult, obviously, to weed it because it's going to have some pretty detailed cuts in it. Where the left side here with the Magic Cut versions of it, and you can see when I look at all of these different designs that we have here with the Magic Cut versions, how much less detail there is in it to allow you to be able to cut them with a vinyl cutter. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of these Magic Cut versions, is a lot less detail in the design to have the ability to use with our vinyl cutters, whether you're doing a car decal, your heat transfer vinyl for shirts, or whatever it is. Okay. Okay. So, are the Magic Cut versions available individually? Elaine, yes, we are going to start listing them. Right now, we have them as a pack, but we are going to start listing them individually on the website as well. So those will be, I was going to start listing them individually on the website later today and hopefully by tomorrow. Because again, it's great to have a pack because it's going to be a big discount getting all of them at the same time. But in turn, hey, you might only have the Hurricanes and the Cougars as far as a school next to you, so you might only need those two designs. So that's why we offer them individually as well. Okay. So what I want to do is, even though we created, and I'll show you again our split mascot packs. So here's an awesome with the Viking and the Ducks and the Rockets and the Indians and the Vipers and the Hurricanes, and how great these split designs look. You can see when you get this pack on the website, you'll have the rhinestone version for all the moms and sisters and grandmas and aunts and everything else. And then you'll have the regular vector version for the border right there, where the great thing about these type of designs, and those of you who were at the webinar yesterday, is it looks awesome on a women's shirt and it also looks awesome on a men's shirt. So it's something that the design, the rhinestone version of it with some glitter heat transfer vinyl, my wife loves to wear that one. And it's still a cool design that I love to wear for a men's design, where I might use some of the reflective material, or I might use some of the electrics, or any of the different cool heat transfer vinyls that we use on the guys' shirts. Okay. Noel, there is not a devil design right now. And that's why I want to show you this, because we will be coming out with more mascots. But what I really want to do, and those of you that know me, I like to share all of the way we do things with all of you. Because again, like Noelle said, there's a devil in her area for a mascot, for a devil's for a school or whatever it is, and we don't have a devil's design right now. So someone might have a devil's design that they want, and they want to create it into the split image design. And that's the whole point of this webinar, is to show you how to do something like that on your own. Because again, yes, we sell the pack on the website, but we teach you with Corel Draw and the TRW Stone Wizard how to do it yourself as well. Because as we know, in this business, customization is key. And when you have customers that come in and want stuff, you want to be able to create those custom designs for them. Okay. Our mascot is a Miller. Tracy, yeah, you're probably not going to find a whole lot of those. Is it Miller Lite? That would be an easy one to find. But yeah, that's going to be more difficult. So are the rhinestone borders all the same? Yes, exactly. Jennifer's question was, see the rhinestone borders here? They're all the exact same size. Well, why do we do that? Because the cool thing about it, as long as you don't change the size of the actual design, okay? As long as you don't change the size of the design, they're all SS10 stones, and you only have to cut this template one time, okay? So cut this one time, and then that's what you're going to be able to use for all of your different designs, as far as whether you're doing, so if you're doing a women's shirt of the tornadoes, or a women's shirt of the hurricanes, or whatever it is, you can use that exact same rhinestone template, so you never have to cut it again. Okay. All right, so let me show you how to do this. So obviously, those of you who have worked with the templates before, let's just say we wanted it, I'll show you how to customize them real quick, because I'm going to show you how to create the actual envelope portion of it as well, okay? I had a question here from Dawn real quick. Newbie question, can you flip these designs, like mirror it? Okay, yes. Dawn, you mean mirror the design as far as just if you wanted the Viper facing the other way? Very easy to do. You could just go here and mirror it so it's flipped this way. So something that's very simple to do with a quick little mirror in Corel Draw. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and it looks like Saul had a question. What size are the stones? The stones set for these are all the SS10 or 3mm stones. Okay. All right, so customize something like this just to show you real quick before we create one. We want it for Southeast football. So we're going to type out Southeast and enlarge that a little bit. Now the font that I'm going to use is Bolster Bold. So you can see it right there. Bolster Bold, I'm pretty sure it's a free font that we got on dafont.com. But it's a font that I like to use, and it just types out straight, but the angle that we have the actual magic envelope set at is what gives it the angled look once we do it. So let's go ahead and duplicate that real quick, and we're going to do football. All right, so we have Southeast football. We want to customize that into all of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the blue, and then in the wizard, we're going to select the same color. Okay, so when I click select same color, what that's going to do is it's going to look throughout the entire design and pick up all of my blue areas. Hold shift, click on Southeast, then come down to magic envelope and right click, and it drops them all in there perfect. Yellow, select same color. It's going to select all of my yellow here now. When I hit select same color, shift click on football, right click on magic envelope, and now all of these are customized. Okay, so obviously with mascots it's a little bit different, because it might not be the Southeast Hurricanes and the Southeast Vikings. If it's a baseball player and some of the other split image designs we have, then it can work with all of those designs. All right, so that's basically our design. Then we can obviously pick our colors from there. So let's say we had our Southeast football one, and we want to do a custom number in there real quick. Show you how to do that. They're number 23. We can just pick it to the size of wherever we want. So custom number 23, let's say, is going to go right up in this top corner area. And their position is quarterback. So we're going to do a QB in the bottom right corner here. And then the tool I'm going to use is I'm going to click on the QB, shift click on this black area here. And up at the top, you're going to click back minus front. Okay? Back minus front, and it knocks that out. Boom, click on the 23, shift click on the green, back minus front, and now that's going to be the shirt showing through. So now you don't have to make it use any other colors. This is a 2-color design that's going to give a 3-color look to it. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and create a design from scratch now. So you see all the different images and mascots here. And we got a hurricane, we have a dragon, we have a rocket, we have a cougar, we have a bulldogs, we have the Rams, the Pirates, the Trojans, the Spartans, the Tornadoes. Give me everybody of the mascots you see here. Everybody type in a mascot that's in your area. Whichever one gets 3 first is going to be our winner, and we'll go ahead and do that. We have, whoa, the first, it looks like 3 of the first 4 were the Rams. Rams, Hurricanes, Mustangs, Rams, Panthers. Okay, well, Rams will be our winner for our first one. So we'll create a Rams one off the start. So let's go to find our Ram here, and our Ram is, here he is. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control C for copy, and I'm going to come over to this page here and hit Control V for paste. And that brought our Ram over here. So let's just say you have this Ram design right now, okay? And I think Grace was one that had Rams. So Grace, what is a team name for your Rams? What's the school name or whoever it is? And then just let me know what sport you want it for. And what we'll do is we'll create a custom design. So TJFL football. What's TJFL stand for? Is that something? Thornton Junior Football League. Okay, so we'll do Thornton Junior, and then it'll have the Rams, and then football. And we'll see what that looks like, okay? So here's how you're going to, now the biggest thing with this is, let's say you purchase this pack right here and you have your basic layout. And then you say, okay, you know what? I want to use that same rhinestone template, but it might be a pain to get everything fit and sized the exact same way, right? Well, let me show you how to do that. I'm going to click on the green right here, shift click on the black. So now I have that green and that black area highlighted, okay? I'm going to hold shift and double click on the square over here. So when I double clicked on that square, can everybody see what that did? It formed a perfect square around that area. Does everybody see that? So what I did is I selected the area that I wanted the square to go around. I came over to my rectangle tool, I held shift, and I double clicked it. And it formed this perfect square around it. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to round this square to the exact same size of our design here. Very easy to do. Click on the square, come over here to text spacing, and then hold shift and drag that down. And boom, we just matched it up perfect. And when you hold shift, all 4 of the corners do the exact same thing. All right. Everybody see how I did that? Is everybody good with that? And this is where you're going to be able to use that exact same rhinestone template if you create your own designs, so you're not having to waste more sticky flock template material, right? The more you can save, the more money you make. So we have a perfect square there, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that square and just bring it down here, all right? We don't need to worry about an outline because we already have the rhinestones, but let's just say for some reason we wanted to make the men's shirt as well. So to make the miniature on this design, we have that basic area perfect as far as size-wise. It's the same size as our rhinestone version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to place and fill here, and I'm going to turn this a color just so you can see it for now. So let's make it a blue zircon. And I'm going to go over here to island, and I'm going to do one island to the outside. I don't want to add stones, and let's see what 0.15 does for us. Island fill, and see it created that island to the outside. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to do 0.2 island fill. There we go. So right now we have 1 box, 2 box, 3 boxes. Now, an easy way, instead of worrying about intersects and fills and all that stuff, I can come over here to this tool right here. Very cool tool, the Smart Fill tool. Click on that, click in this area, and bam, there's my outline. Okay? So there's my outline. There's my other part. So I'm going to just bring both of those out. These boxes right here, I'm done with now. Everybody see how I did that with the Smart Fill tool? So instead of having to worry about intersects and front minus back and all that stuff, because I had that area filled right there for us, it was easy for me to just use that Smart Fill tool, and that created my border for me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create it with the border here because we want to make sure with the border that we have our guy's design as well. So let's go ahead and start creating this. Let's grab our ram design, bring him over, and let's bring him to the front. He was in the back, so I just hit 2 front to bring him to the front of our layers here. Now, the main thing you need to do, and I'm going to show you what happens if you don't do this, is if we create our design like this, and there's a little bit of area at the top there that's open, okay? If I use my Smart Fill tool, the tool we're going to use, it fills the entire thing. See how it did that? We don't want it to fill the entire thing. So you just need this ram to go a little bit past your design, just a tiny bit. And then at the bottom, you can see his nose is going a little bit past. All right. So all looks good. We'll center it a little bit better, and we're good to go now. Yes, Renee, this is being recorded. So you guys will be able to follow through step by step with me. All right. So we got our ram here. We're good to go. Now we're going to use the Smart Fill tool. And the great thing about it now is right there it's going outside, and at the top it's going outside a little bit. So when I click this, it has borders that are going to stop it and only fill in that side. Now we're going to change our other one. Doesn't matter what color for right now. Let's change it to an orange. Click there, and it fills that side. See that? Now what we can do, there's a couple different ways, and I'm going to show you all the different ways that we can do this, because this is the cool thing about it, is you can get creative with these split designs. What is the shortcut to center the objects? Chris, very easy. Shortcut to center. Remember when I was centering, if that was right there, I click on the ram, I shift click to the actual, the blue part, and I hit C for center, and that's going to center it perfectly. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on my Smart Fill. Let's get that one back there, and let's get this one back here. Now what we're going to do is watch this. There's a couple of different ways, like I was saying, that we could do this ram design depending on the way we wanted it to look. We could do it this way. Real quick, who are we working with the Rams? Grace, what color is the football team? Mike, the reason why it didn't fill the inside of the ram is because there weren't any open areas to get to the inside. You know, see what I'm saying there? So let me change this color. So see how that's all blocked off? It's all closed in, so it only fills that closed in area. Does that make sense, Mike? So for example, watch. We had that one right there, and just so everybody can see an example of it, if I grabbed my eraser tool and I clicked on my ram and I opened up, he just lost part of his nose and he just lost a little part there. See how there's open areas right there? So watch. Now when I fill it, boom, it fills in all of that area. Okay? When it was closed off, so even if I wanted to close it off like this, watch, I'll just grab the B-spline tool, close that off a little bit and come over here and click it. Because I closed that off, it basically, the color couldn't bleed into that area and fill it. So as long as it's closed off, then it's only going to fill that area where it can actually get to. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. So let's go back here on our RAM. Now, a couple different ways we can do this. The way that we create most of our designs is like this. So the blue right here, we're basically done with that. We don't need that blue back behind there anymore. I'm going to take this RAM design here, because what we don't want to do is when I go to wireframe, everything looks great here. You look at this and you're like, oh man, this is a perfect cut. Well, what's going to happen is if you move that a little bit, see how the lines are directly on top of each other? So what's going to happen is when you go to press this design, it is going to be physically impossible to line all this up perfect without some of your shirt showing through. Okay? But that's okay. We can create this outline that I'm going to do, which gives it a cool 3-color look to the design. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our RAM, okay? And I'm going to click on here to create a boundary. So we aren't even going to do a magic trap on this one because I want the RAM to kind of pop out a little bit more. So I created a boundary around it. So there's my boundary. And then I'm going to come over here to my place and fill, and I'm going to go about, I normally go about 0.08 for an outline and do an island fill. Now I'm going to click on that island I just created, click on the orange, and the first one I do, I'm going to click trim, and then I'm going to click on the boundary I created again, click on the pink, and do back minus front. And then there we go. So see how it makes the RAM kind of pop out a little bit more, but depending on what color shirt we have it on, that shirt is going to be showing through in this area, which is going to give it a 3-color look to the design. So it's kind of the opposite of a magic trap, to where it's doing it to the outside area there to give it a good look, and it'll make that RAM just kind of pop out of the design a little bit more. Because if you do magic trap it and the colors are a little bit closer together, like let's say this one right here was a black and this side over here was a gray. If those were right on top of each other, the colors wouldn't pop out as much. So everybody's asking to do that again. No problem. I'm going to do it right now. So the blue we're done with. That was just basically getting us our base. So let me let you guys walk me through it. So what's my next step here? What do I click on? I like to keep it interactive. So okay, we're going to click on the image, and then we're going to do what? Create a boundary. Perfect. A lot of you got that. So right up here, create boundary. That's in our TRW toolbar. So create boundary, and that created this boundary right here. Okay, so we have our boundary. What's our next step after we created our boundary? Offset. Okay, yep, you're going to do the offset or island fill, place and fill, a lot of different names, but basically you're going to create the island contour, and I like to use 0.08 just to give you a number. Okay, so 0.08. So 0.08, and I'm going to click here on island fill, and it created that, basically this object to the outside of it. Okay, and now that I have that created, what's my next step? Next step is to shift click on the orange, exactly, and then trim. Noel's got it, good. So shift click on the orange, and I want to show you the reason why I do trim, okay? Because you see me use back minus front a lot. If I use back minus front right now, it gets rid of that island that I created. So then I have to go to here, I have to create another island, then I have to come over here and hit back minus front again. So it's just more work involved. So the reason why I do a trim on the first one is it doesn't, because when you're doing back minus front, it's saying keep the back and minus the front. So it gets rid of that. So when I click on this one here and go to orange and I just hit trim, then all that does is trim what's behind that object. Then I click on the object to here, back minus front, and that makes it go away. So I use a trim just because I want to use that same object 2 times. Does that make sense to everybody? basically it's just saving you a couple clicks, and it gets you used to what other features do as well. Okay. Steve, great question. Can you use back minus front on both? You can, but here's what's going to happen. If I went boom, boom, and back minus front, it's going to get rid of that orange one as well. Okay. Now, the way that you could do that, Steve, is if you clicked on orange, clicked on the pink, and then grouped those together, and then clicked on this to this and back minus front, because the pink and the orange were one group then. Okay. So you could do it that way as well, as long as those two are basically, it's looking at them as one object. Okay. So now that we have that, we can also do it another way, and this looks pretty cool sometimes as well. So what I can do with else, and let me make sure, let me get the colors. I lost them. They went pretty far back there because we've had a lot of questions coming in. Vegas gold and hunter green were the colors. So if we wanted to make this and technically we could make this a 3-color design the way we have this punched out right now. So I'm going to get rid of my border that I created, and we could take this design here just the way that we have it created. Okay, let me ungroup that again. And we could go to here, and we could go boom on these two. We could weld those together, magic vinyl and green. We could do this with gold, and we could do this with gold. That would look pretty cool on a black shirt. We could also do this with gold, this with gold, this with green, and the outline with green. So that could look cool as well. So a lot of different color combinations you could do. Even if you wanted to do it on a white shirt, you could do black glitter, you could do green, you could do gold, and you could do black glitter around it. So I think that looks pretty awesome. So whether you want it on a black shirt, white shirt, any of your different, you have a lot of different options of color combinations to make it look cool. Now, the one thing you do want to remember is every time you add a third or a fourth color, then you're actually adding more time to your process as well, as far as you're having to cut an extra color and press an extra color and weed an extra color. So take that into account when you're pricing this, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and create our envelope real quick. So to create our envelope, I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, let me pull this off to the side a little bit more so you guys can see it as I'm doing it. And let's do it on a design that we basically have done here. So we already have our offsets and everything set on this one. So I have this square set right here. What I'm going to do with this square now is I can do whatever I want. I like to just do a smart fill of it. So I did my smart fill, and I can get rid of that original square. Now, if I want to have that angle, okay, if I want to have that angle that we would do, what you could do is I can grab this angle, and I would come over here, and I would click on my envelope. It's going to pull up my envelope toolbar. Click on the straight line one, hit add new, and just pull that corner a little bit, and see how that adds that angle to it. So now we have our angle there. I can move this down a little bit. We're looking all good there. And now what I'm going to do is, I want that back area out of there, okay? I want this black area gone. So just using my place and fills again, pretty simple. Let's say we did 0.06 island fill. I have this island, shift click to the back, the black part there, and just hit a back minus front. What that did is it knocked out all that black back behind it, because obviously your text is going to go in right there. Okay? That makes sense to everybody what I did? Again, using the same tools, the back minus front, but you obviously don't want that strip of heat transfer vinyl going back behind your words, because then it's going to be layering on top of each other. So we do the exact same thing on the bottom. Let's go ahead and drag this envelope down to here. And we're going to go ahead and shift click to the black. But first, again, we need to create that border real quick. I almost skipped that step. So boom, island fill, shift click to the black, and front minus back, or back minus front. And there we go. All right, so now you have your own magic envelopes. So we can change them to whatever color we want. And let's go to this text here. And Grace, can you type the name again real quick? I think it was it Thornton? So I think it was, because that, okay, so thank you, Grace. Thornton. So we can even do Thornton Jr. Because the cool thing is it's already got the Rams. So it's basically going to say Thornton Jr. Rams football because you got the Ram design. So I'm going to click on the pink, shift click to Thornton Jr. I'm looking at this. That's a little bit too much spacing for me. So I'm going to click on this and edit it real quick. Click on text spacing, select those two boxes, drag it over a tiny bit. That looked like a little bit too much spacing for me. And then text spacing, tighten it up a little bit. Just hit my arrows there. Just a couple shortcut tools that you can use in the wizard. So pink, shift click to Thornton, magic envelope. Yellow, shift click to football, magic envelope. There we go. Thornton Jr. football, Rams design. Pretty sweet, isn't it? Now the cool thing is remember, when you're creating something like this, okay, you can always move if you need to adjust these words at all, or you want the football a little bit more to this side, or whatever it is. But we can grab this black area here, and I'll just make a duplicate of it and get rid of that. Let's grab our oranges right here for our stone part of the design. Let's adjust that down a little bit. And you can see our stones are going to fit in there. We just got to adjust it down a little bit more. So that rhinestone template that we already had fits with this custom design that we just made. Okay? Now, obviously, we want to show what that looks like on a men's shirt real quick. So to do that adjusting, Beverly, how I was moving that slowly is I was just using my arrow tools. So I'm using my arrows to move it around. It's an easy way to adjust your design. Okay? So Thornton Junior football, and I'll show you guys how to do the rhinestones as well, of course. So we want to do, let's say we're going to do it as a 3-color design. So these black areas right here, we're going to weld those together. That's going to be our black glitter. All of that's going to be our black glitter. So let's go to Magic Vinyl. And actually, we're going to make this for myself. It's going to be a men's shirt. So boom, we want a green there, and we wanted like a gold there. Pretty sweet looking design. Because it's all vector, it doesn't have any stones, we can make it a little bit larger. We can come over here to my mockups, go to a men's shirt, front design. We want to add our logo on it, and we want the TRW. Click on our men's shirt right there. It's going to run through for us. Change this background color to white, and there you go. Pretty sweet. I would wear this shirt, no problem. And then we can put a custom number, a custom position, everything else. But again, awesome looking design for the guys. And when you get the girls design, then you can use your rhinestones and everything else. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go through, and I went through that one, but I'm going to go through you guys want me to go through a complete another design as well? Because what I can do with another design is, and I'll show you even with this one, but I'll do another design as well, don't worry. So check this out. Let's add a little extra to this. So watch. I'm going to grab my original RAM right here. And watch what I'm going to do this time. This time, I'm going to get rid, oh, sorry. Let me get rid of that and get rid of this. We're going to try this out. I want to see what it looks like. I haven't even done it on these type designs yet, but just thinking about it right here, I know that it'll probably work no problem. So we have a RAM design here. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a place and fill, one island to the outside and a contour spacing of 0.075. And island fill. So see how the island went to the inside there? What did I forget to do? I wanted to do it as a boundary, okay? So I'm going to do it as a boundary, okay? I have that boundary created. Let me make it a little bit smaller here. And a little bit smaller here. Can anybody guess what I'm about to do? Who's on top of their game today? So I have a boundary created. You guys watch too much of what I do. Most of you are getting it. Okay, so watch. Place and fill, 0.075, island fill. Okay. Boom, 0.075, island fill. All right, so I created two 0.075 island fills. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to do a smart fill. I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to do a smart fill. All right, because it was still going outside, I was still able to do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that part back behind. But see this part right here? I do want to fix that. So because this area went down, I got a little dead area there. So no problem. Smart fill and just finish that with a second smart fill. Shift click and weld those together. Okay. And that's because I had two areas going back down past it. So we're all good there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my border that I created, or the outline that I created, and then I'm also going to click on this area right here, and watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually go ahead and, well, actually, let me click on yes. Click right there. I'm going to do add stones. I'm going to do a corner detect, okay? Click to 0, and let me change colors here. So let's go to, I don't know, a purple stone. Click on that area and add stones to path, and boom, there we go. Highlight my design, clear my paths out, all right? And now I do need to fix this area here. So I'm going to just shift my yellow to the back real quick so I can see what I'm working with. And then I have this border still, or island that I created, and my blue right there. So I'm going to click on my blue and trim, okay? And then my yellow or my pink over there is already trimmed perfect. So we're good to go. So get rid of that, get rid of this, and we have ourselves a multi-deck design with the rhinestones going throughout it. So of course we're going to have a couple little areas in here that we could do our merge overlaps or fix, where we're going to have a couple little overlapping stones in tight little areas, which we can do it all at one time, but I know there's not going to be many. There were only 3 stones right there that were overlapping, but pretty simple, pretty easy to do right there, wasn't it? And if you want to do a double check for any overlaps, you can click on your purple, select same color, and mark top layer overlaps. We had one there because we had the corner. All right. So now we can knock out those same colors again. So let's go ahead and grab this. Great thing is when you don't change the size of a design, watch what you can do. I could just go boom, boom. Oh, let me ungroup that. So these are grouped together with the Thornton still. So because I grouped those together and combined them, I'm going to have to do a little extra work. Because what I want to do is I want to keep that Thornton Jr. the same. So we're actually going to do it this way. Let me just get rid of the ram. And the reason why is because I welded these together. So that's why I'm getting rid of it this way versus your normal way that you would get rid of it by just deleting it. And then we got our green. Delete that out. Let's get rid of this. Grab this guy right here, and it's going to fit right into our spot right here. And we adjusted it because of the men's design, remember? So I made it a little bit bigger, so we would obviously shrink that down a tiny bit. Okay, so once you have this design here, we could use our rhinestone border on it still, or we just come in here and change our colors to whatever we wanted. Boom, we got our black there. We got our, well, it was green grass, right? So green grass, let's say we wanted that in all gold. We wanted this in green grass. We wanted that in black. And we want this in crystal stones. Highlight our design here. We're all good. 10 inches. Go to our mockups. We're going on a women's shirt this time, and we want to simulate our stones. Let's go to this burnout shirt here. click on this burnout shirt. It's going to run through it, change our background color to whatever the shirt color is, which could be white. But you can see here, once it goes in there, but all of the stone simulations in there as well. So when you change the shirt color to whatever you want, you can change shirt color to yellow or turquoise or orange or anything, and you can see how those stones are going to jump out with their color as well. So a lot of different types of things you can do with these split designs, whether it's for rhinestones, whether it's for heat transfer vinyl, everything else. How long would it take me to do, now Tammy's question was, how long would it take to do this design from start to finish? Tammy, are you talking about the production process or creating the actual design like we're doing right here? The design? Tammy, for me to create this, obviously I do it all the time. So for me to create a Thornton Jr. design like this with the rhinestones and everything going quick, it would take 2 or 3 minutes. For you guys off the start, it might take 10 minutes. It might take 15 minutes. But the great thing is you would be able to charge for the actual design, of course. So Tammy, for example, if they wanted a RAM split design or something that you didn't have, you would charge $15, $20, $25 for a one-time design and setup fee for that, and then obviously you charge from the shirts from there out. What if someone didn't want the RAM to be the shirt color but kept white? So are you saying for right here, Shelby, like the inside of the RAM to not be the shirt color? We have full color versions as well. So you'll see when we go here, if you had used this RAM right here, you could have made it a different color. Okay. Obviously, it's just a matter of more presses, more cutting, more time involved in actually creating it. Okay. So your goal basically is to make the production process as simple as possible. Like this right here, we have our rhinestone template, of course, but we have 2 colors that we need to cut, even though it looks like a 3-color design. So when people look at this, they look at it and say it's green, black, and white, okay? Or let's change this to magic vinyl and a white glitter, and this to a white glitter. So this is green, blue, and white. So it makes it look like a 3-color design, but you're not having to create that extra color, okay? All right, perfect. So we got 15 minutes. We got plenty of time for one more design, right? You guys want to create another one? Let's see here. The process if it was for a car. Yeah, we can do that one, Mike. Mike had a question as far as if it were for a car decal. Okay. So we got, give me your mascots again. First one to get 3. We'll do one for the first one to get 3. We got a Bulldogs, a Braves, a Mustangs, a Eagles, a Bulldogs, a Dragon, a Bulldogs. A Bulldogs wins. Bulldog got 3 out of the first 10. So let's go Bulldogs. And we will grab our Bulldog design here. And we'll grab the more simplified Bulldog design. So let me find, we have our Bulldog there. Where's our Bulldog head at? Oh, here it is up here. Okay, so Control C to copy. Come over here to where we had our design. Go back to page 1. Control V as in Victor to paste. All right, those 3 of you that had the, well, it looks like more than 3 of you. What is the team name and colors for your Bulldog? First one, oh, Tanya Olson is on top of it. Tanya's got red and white and Streetor. Close enough, right? We're making the design. So I can spell it now that you spelt it for me. So let's go ahead, and now what we would normally do is where we had created that, we would just keep that template for any future ones. But you guys want to see the entire process again, obviously. So let's go ahead and grab our existing design. So we have our Thornton Jr. one, or whichever one we had. So to create our box around, I click on this box area here, and then what do I click on? Does anybody remember the tool that gives us that box? What do I need to click? Not the boundary. Yes, we got the rectangle tool, but what do I have to do when I click the rectangle tool? Ann's got it, shift. Yep. So I got that selected, shift, and double click on the rectangle tool. Monica's got it, Steve's got it, Tasha, awesome. So double click, boom, there's my perfect rectangle around whatever I had selected. Now the cool thing is, just to show you how it works, if I did it on here, shift, double click, it creates a perfect box around whatever you have selected, just so you can kind of see what it's doing. So we have it there, and then it's click on the box, and what? What's my next one here? I want to go to edit, yep, and then what? Select by curve, two color magic text, align objects, there you go, text spacing, perfect. And then what? We got our text spacing pulled up, Control, Shift, plus, Enter, there you go. Shift and drag, perfect. So shift and drag, and you can see all four of them working at the same time. See them all going at the same time? And I'll show you the difference. If I hit Control and drag, it only moves one corner, okay? Control and drag moves one corner, Shift and drag moves all four corners, all right? So we got it sized perfect. Let's bring her on over here. And we want to create that outline real quick, right, for our vector design. Does anybody remember the distance that I used on the place and fill? One island to the outside, and 0.08 is what we used for the mascot part of it. Yep. Chris, Noel, you guys got it. Perfect. 0.15 is what we used for the border. So 0.15, island fill. And then what was my next island? Because I wanted this next line a little bit thicker. 0.15, and then we went to 0.2. Perfect. 0.2, island fill. All right, we got that. I can do my front minus backs and trims and everything, but what's the easier way? Since we have that all built in there, there you go, smart fill. Click, smart fill, boom. We got it. Click on my yellow, click on my orange, get those out of there, and we're done with our islands now. All right, so we got these. Who knows how to get rid of my black outline right there? No point of having the black outline there anymore. In the wizard or Corel, yep, right click on the X, exactly. So boom, we can use it in Corel up here or in the wizard. You're just going to right click on the X and that gets rid of the outline. All right, left click is fill, right click is outline. So we got our Bulldog. Let's grab our Bulldog, bring him to the front. So just to front, and let's get him to size. So a little bit off the bottom, a little bit off the top, and I think we're good. Let's go ahead and C for center. And there's a little bit more room on this side, so I'm actually going to move them over just a tiny bit there, okay? No, Maurice, that does not get rid of the, Maurice question, so does the smart fill in front minus back eliminate the magic trap feature? No, Maurice, because what we're doing with these type of designs is we're basically doing the opposite of a magic trap. Instead of making it so no shirt is showing through, we're trying to make the shirt show through to give it that three-color look. The magic trap would overlap, for example, the orange and the black a little bit, so it has that slight little trap so you don't see any shirt. So different type of process that we're doing here because we want the shirt to show through to give it that three-color look, okay? How do you get rid of the lines again? It's a right click. So the X up here, you just right click on the X up here, and that gets rid of that outline, Lisa. Okay? What Corel does this? Grace had a quick question. What Corel does this work with? I've not purchased the Stone Wizard yet. I'm new to this. Currently, I have Corel Draw Student and Home. Would I need an upgrade? Grace, there is an educational edition, and it's very weird. Some people it works with, some it doesn't. I'm almost positive it does not work with the Home and Student because you won't have the macro abilities with the Home and Student. There are some educational versions that it has work with, but X5, X6, and X7, the full graphics suite is what it's guaranteed to be work with. Okay? All right, so we're all good here. Let's go ahead, and we're a little bit over, and see right there, we're not over. So let's go a little bit over the edge, and now our Smart Fill should work. So Smart Fill, click on the left, and change it to a different color here. Smart Fill, click on the right. Now that color isn't a big enough difference. Let's change it a little bit. All right, so we got that, and then we have our outline there. So my next thing, and I'm going to show you another one, but just to let you guys know and to see what's my next step from here. Who remembers? Create a boundary. Exactly. You guys are on it. You guys were putting that down before I even asked. So click on our mascot. We create our boundary. What size boundary do we want? 0.08. There you go. 0.08 and island fill. And see what I did? I forgot to. You guys told me to create the boundary and I didn't even create it. Create the boundary. And now that we have our boundary created, island fill, and that gives us this, okay? Now I'm going to show you another thing in two different ways you can do this that look pretty cool. So what's my next step to have that shirt showing through? Click on the boundary, yep, and the blue, and trim, perfect. So boundary, blue, and trim, and then boundary blue and back minus front. Exactly. Boundary yellow and back minus front. So boundary yellow and back minus front. We can get rid of our orange and our boundary now. We don't need those. And there's our sweet looking design. I think we said, did we say red and blue was the colors of the design? Where is the Smart Fill button? Tammy, Smart Fill button is right down here, bottom left corner of Corel Draw. And that's in X7. X6, it might be a little bit closer to the top, I want to say. What were the colors again? Tanya, what were our colors? Were they red, white, and blue? Just white and red? Yes? Okay. So white, red, we can do a couple different things. Let's do white and red on a black shirt. So let's just say that this was, and I'll just change it to gray for right now. That was a black outline. Or let's change this black right here on the Bulldog. We can do a couple different styles of it, and I'll show you two different styles. So we have our Bulldog here, and we have the Bulldog to be a white. This is going to be a white. We probably want the Bulldog to actually be the red. And then we'll go white here, maybe even a red here. Change this to an actual black now so it stands out a little bit more. So we can do it any different way. We can keep it white like that. So depending on colors, you have options as far as what you want to do with the colors on something like this. You could change it even to a different color if you wanted it to be more of a gray and white, red, and gray. Okay? And then something cool about this is I'm going to show you what we can also do with this. So if this were just a vector design, so let's say we had the white there, we had the white here, and we don't have rhinestones in this design, watch what else we could do. We could actually come over here, change this to a red as well, highlight my design, shrink it down a little bit, so now I'm at 4x7, come over here to my mockups, I'm going to go to accessories, I'm going to click right here onto my window, and that's going to drop it perfectly on the back window of a car if we're using sign vinyl. Okay? So Very cool. And obviously it's going to have your wording and everything else on it as well. So once we add these magic envelopes that we're about to do here. So let's go back to page 1. We have our Bulldog, but I did want to show you one other style real quick. We have the Bulldog like this, okay? And let's change these back to the black, black, and black, just so you can see the difference. This is a pretty cool look to it too that I like to use sometimes. Watch this, and you guys just let me know what you think looks better, but it gives it a different look. What I could do is I could create my boundary, okay, and do my place and fill, and do my contour, and then go to my yellow and do a back minus front. But you can see I didn't do anything with the blue there. I could change this blue to a black and give it this look here. So all of this, now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a, see, there's a very, very slim little outline right there where those two are connecting. The easy way I like to fix that is just to go here and do a 0.001 island fill. So a real small little island fill, okay? And then what I did with that is I can go ahead and weld those together now and get rid of, oh, get rid of this area. So when it has that slight little island fill or overlap there, that's what's going to allow you to weld it together. So when I'm welding that, oh, that's my problem. I still had the actual boundary on it. That's why it was all turning black. So now this is all one item there. Okay. So which one do you like better? And let me change them so they're the same. So let me put my red on this side and my black on this side. So do you like it better where it's got the kind of shirt showing through, or do you like it better where it's kind of like the Bulldog coming out all at one color? And I got a top, bottom, both look great, bottom, bottom, top, top, bottom, top. And that's the great thing about this is, hey, now you guys can show something a little bit different because there's not one that looks way better than the other. They both look great, but it just gives a little bit of a different look to it, okay? And it's a little bit less weeding, a little bit less worrying about lining it up. So there's different things you can think of when you're doing a design like this, all right? So let's go ahead and add my text real quick because I know we're getting close to our time here. Like always, I'm sure we'll go a little bit over time. So we got our rectangle there. I'm just going to do a quick smart fill of it. And if we want to put it at an angle, how do I put it at the angle? Everybody remember? And you don't have to go at an angle. I just kind of like the look of going at an angle. There you go, envelope tool. So we got our envelope, our straight line, and we're going to go add new. So add new, and then I'm going to hold shift and it goes that way, okay? If I hold control, then they both move the same way. Does everybody see the difference there? So it's all going to vary depending on which way you want kind of that to go as far as the envelope tool. So we're all good there. And let's bring this down to this side. We're all good there. How do I make the black go way back behind it? Click on my design. You got it. Place and fill. And we're going I think we went a 0.06 or 0.08. One of them. They're all going to be very similar. And island fill. Shift click to the back, the black part. And then we're going to do, obviously, our back minus front. That got rid of that one. Boom. Island fill. Shift click to the black, back minus front. Our envelopes are ready. And what was our team name for the Bulldogs here? I pronounced it wrong, but I'm sure, there we go. Let's grab our text here. I can click on our little text toolbar right there. It's going to pull this up and we can type it out. S-T-R-E-A-T-O-R. Oh, we want capital letters. No problem if you type it out in lowercase by mistake. Obviously, in our custom toolbar there, we can toggle the case. Now it's all uppercase. And what were we doing this for, Tanya? Was it baseball, softball, football, soccer, tennis? What do you think? Whatever you want. Football? football it is. We already got football up top. Made it easy on me. So boom, here, edit, magic envelope, boom, football, magic envelope. And there we go. Now, the way that the L is, sometimes I like to just drag this out a little bit more to the side, okay? But pretty simple. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that you could create a design like this on your own? I mean, obviously, you're using one of the mascots or a mascot that you already have or from somebody else or wherever. But yes, it's going to take a little practice knowing the different steps, but pretty awesome looking designs here. And that's why a lot of people will always say, hey, why do you show them how to do that? Why don't you just sell the designs? Because we know that obviously you need to be successful and you need to be able to do custom shirts. You're not going to make money if every single time you have a custom item, you need to send it to somebody else to get the design made for you to be able to produce the shirt. You need to be able to do this stuff on your own and create custom designs like this to be able to have a successful business. And actually, obviously, we're all in business to make money. We want to make money. Yes, is it fun to do this type of stuff? Yeah, every day. I would love to do it every single day. And that's why I like these trainings so much. But you also, of course, want to make money as well. Okay. So I did have a quick question come in. Monica, thank you for reminding me. Just in case you didn't have a rhinestone template, how do you add the rhinestones to it? And I can show you real quick, very easy. So boom, boom, got both of them. Shift, double click on my square right there, text spacing, drag it down, come over here. We have our border there. I'm going to go place and fill. I'm going to go 2 islands to the outside, add stones. We're going to go about let's go 0.15 and backspace 0.15. And let's do an island fill there. There it is. Clear our paths. Get rid of that border. And then all we have to do is, boom, those are gone. And boom. Oh, can't delete my word too. Boom, those are gone. There's your rhinestone border. How easy was that? Pretty simple, right? What did we do that in? 30 seconds? So now that template's made for everyone that you want to do. Okay, so once you cut this actual template here, you're never going to have to recut that template again. All right, the main thing is obviously just make sure your wording is always within that same envelope range so that the stones will line up with your words. But very simple to do something like that. I missed a step. No worry, Tammy, we got you covered. Let's do it again real quick. No stones around it. Watch. Click, click. Have both of those selected. Shift, double click. Created my square. Edit, text spacing. Hold shift. Drag it down. Oh, went a little bit too far. Drag it down. So we have our boundary right there, or border around it basically. Place and fill. 2 islands to the outside. Add stones with a contour spacing of 0.15 and an island fill. There's our stones. Clear our path. Get rid of the boundary, and now it's just get the excess stones out of there. Boom, you're out of there, and you're out of there. Get a couple more out of here maybe. And then there's your rhinestones. Okay, pretty simple, isn't it, Tammy? So we will, it normally takes a little while as far as the actual video that will get posted up for this. We will get it up on the channel. Normally it takes about 24 hours, so we'll work our hardest to make sure to get it up by tomorrow, so you'll have it for the weekend and everything, because we have to do a lot of rendering with it and everything to get it uploaded. But we will get it up as soon as possible, and then that way you'll be able to follow along with the actual video here to be able to see, okay? So we'll definitely do that. So next thing we got is, what I'm going to do is I promised you a free design. So I'm going to post a design under our freebie section on the website of the split mascot. So you will be able to go ahead and download that. Can this be done in Silhouette Designer Edition? I am not 100% positive. I haven't done it in Designer Edition. I'm sure there is different steps to where that you probably could. I just don't know the process. And like with the, I know you can't do the magic envelopes and everything else. But I will talk to Lisa on that as well and show her the steps and what we actually do, and then she'll be able to play around with Designer Edition and see as far as creating it. But I know like the magic envelope features and all that stuff, you can't do that stuff in the Designer Edition. Okay? So, but as far as the different steps, they're just called different things in Designer Edition, like back minus front and trim and different things. So I'm sure there is a way to do all of that part of it. Okay?